You know, and for the younger, that's for the older crowd. For the younger people, you know, how many came out the club? Well, how many ever listen to R&B music? Wait, so y'all can relate to me just a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I want to play that. I want to play that. You know, those that come out of the club and remember this here. My mind is telling me no. But the Spirit is telling me yes. Y'all remember that, dog? I don't want to hurt nobody. But there's something that you know what I want to tell you? I don't see nothing wrong with you. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah. Can I go with the microphone? Y'all hear me good out there? I don't see nothing wrong with Jesus on my mind. Now some of y'all done went back and told me I don't see nothing wrong with a little bumpy ground. You don't want to do that? I don't see nothing wrong with Jesus on my mind. Well, I tell you, my young folk, you can see when they lay back, the car done roll back, the Cadillac. You can see the top of the back of the Cadillac with the tune the rolls on. Oh my goodness, I tell you, we are so blessed. I believe in having a wonderful time in the house of the Lord. I believe it. Give yourselves a hand clap of praise. This morning I want to deal with you're so blessed because you're a gift to the body. How many know that when Jesus, when Christ talks about the body, it's many members. We're many members, but we're one body. Look at somebody say one body. One body. You might not be a bone, but you might be the bone marrow, or you might be the glue that's holding the bones together. You might be the cartilage. You might be the very thing that keeps the bones from rubbing together. Somebody's in here as a peacemaker. Do I have any peacemakers in this place? There's somebody that's a peacemaker that when friction come up, you know how to speak to a situation and cause the situation to be at peace. You might be the marrow of the bone. You might be the veins. You might be an artery, but you are still important. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you are important to me. Now I understand that the day is Communion Sunday, and I want to have a wonderful time in Communion Sunday. But I want to share. I don't want to overlook it because you are either a vessel of honor or one of dishonor. God says I make a vessel of honor, and I also make a vessel of dishonor. But I believe that the people of God are a vessel of honor. Yes. Meaning that everything that they do ought to honor God and ought to glorify the Father which is in heaven. Also, that everything that we do, God is God inspired and it is God activated. Look at your neighbor and say, are you activated by God? Or are you activated by the enemy? Now I hope it's not a second one. I hope that you are just activated by God and God alone. Let's turn the Bibles over to 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. I don't want you to be ignorant of your spiritual gifts. Look at somebody and say, I don't want you to be ignorant. Well, I feel that song. I don't see none. What color is it? Turn it over to 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. When you got it, say I got it.
I got it.
Now, if you see somebody still turning the pages, help them out. It's all right to help somebody to find their way to the Word. Help them out. Before I even get started, I want to share with you what God has in store for His people, for His children. And if you're not a child today, I really want to open the door up to tell you, you might want to get to know him. Because Jesus left an inheritance for you. Look at somebody say it's for you. He left an inheritance for you. There is no reason why we should walk in poverty.
That's right.
Oh, can I talk for a minute? There's no reason to walk in poverty. There's a difference between being poor and broke. Poor is a state of mind. Broke means that it haven't came yet and it's temporary. See, broke folks can be put together. Poor folks, he ain't got nothing to work with. Can I help you right now? So I want you to look at this thing and say, neighbor, today you is in a rich place and not a poor place. Say, neighbor, you is in a rich place, not a poor land. Around here, there's no poor people. We all think rich. Now watch this. What I mean by this is that poor is a state of mind, meaning that I don't have a solution to the problem. That means that I'm so messed up that I can't find a solution, don't have a solution, and don't know how to fix it, nor do I have a word to lay on it. Jesus said in the book of Luke 4:8, he said, I've been anointed to preach the gospel. Oh, that's all I need to hear right now. I've been anointed to preach the good news. I've been anointed to tell you good news and bring it to the poor, meaning that I have God's approval to preach to your poor mindset, to change you from thinking that you're poor and realize that you are rich in Christ Jesus. Oh my God. Look at you. You is rich in Christ Jesus. Well, God, I haven't been able to pay my bills. I haven't been able to set things straight. I haven't been able to get this organized. That doesn't mean that you're poor. That may mean that you're broke, but you're not poor. It's just that you need the information on how to put it together. You know, the number one killer in church today, and people don't want to talk about it, but money. Let's be honest. But I don't want to talk to you today just strictly about money. Because you hear enough about money messages. I want to talk to you today about being wealthy in every area of your life. The wealth runs deeper than just $5, $10, $100, $1,000. It runs deeper than that. I'm talking about being wealth in your spirit. I'm talking about not just being wealthy in your spirit, but learning how to build wealth in you. Watch this. Now, watch this. I want to share with you first. 1 Corinthians 12:1. He says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brother, I would not have you underline this word ignorant. Look at somebody and say ignorance is in a bliss. Now, there's one thing about being ignorant, but to stay ignorant, now you just walk over into foolishness. When you're ignorant, anybody ever been ignorant? Yes. I can tell you some of my most ignorant experience. I remember when I started my cleaning company. The cleaning company, I was working for this company, and the company was upgraded. So they brought in new management. And they handed me a book called Who Moved the Cheese. Anybody ever heard that book?
Yes.
So they gave me the book, and they said they want me to read the book. Me and my ignorant self. I mean, really ignorant. The lady come by, she said, did you read the book, Proctor? Oh, yeah. You know how we do stuff. Yeah. You ain't read that book. We ain't even opened the book. So, you know, it's approaching the time that new management is getting ready to do all these changes, and they gave me a month in advance to read the book. So every time I would come to work, the lady would look at me and she said, did you read the book? And I said, yeah. Anybody ever answer God and say, God said, did you do that? You say, yeah, I got it. I already did it. Don't worry about a thing. And then God have somebody else to come along and say, did you do that yet? And you still sitting there, yeah. You know you ain't done it. So it is that I'm being very ignorant. So when they start making the changes, I assumed that the people that I was working for, they didn't want me to work there. So they really was trying to get rid of me. When really they were just making changes. But because I didn't have the information to change with the flow, I remained in the 60s when we were living in 2012. You know, it calls, when you start looking and evaluating your life, I don't care where you are in life, you still got to keep up. You cannot allow yourself to stay in 1812 when we're living in 2012. You know, things have changed, facts have changed. Principles may remain the same, but facts have changed. We're no longer riding in the Model T, where you had to put the water and you had to crank in the you know, we're not doing this anymore. We're not pouring water in there. They're pulling up the gas pumps and gas stations. You can't even find parts for the Model T anymore. Now, it's a good investment. Now, if y'all do have it, please call me. And I'll be more than happy to take it off your hands, especially if it's rusty, because it's a good investment. But it doesn't mean that they still servicing parts for it. Things have changed. Facts have changed. Meaning that we're still driving, but we're driving different automobiles. We're no longer using steammobiles, but we're using gasoline. And now we done translated from gasoline over to electricity, and then we have hybrids at the same time. So we're study advancing. Now you got to look at yourself and say, am I advancing or am I staying ignorant? Paul says it very plain. He says, brother, look at here. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brother, I would not have you ignorant. Look at your neighbor, say ignorant. You will not be ignorant. We in a wealthy land. You got to know how to access your stuff. It doesn't make any sense in taking a boat cruise, staying on the boat cruise, because of the fact you feel like you ain't got no money. I'm reminded of a story like that. A husband and wife team got on the boat, and if y'all ever been on a boat cruise, it's all you can eat. My God, they feed you so much, it's all you can eat all night long. You can go from this station to that station, and you just eat all that. Well, this couple got on the boat cruise, and what they did, they got into their cabin, they stayed in their cabin because of the fact they didn't want to run up any debt, and they didn't have any money, and they didn't want to be embarrassed. So when they was getting off the cruise, the captain said, well, how did you enjoy the cruise? They said, well, what we did, we fasted and we just stayed in our cabin because we really didn't have enough money to eat the food. And the captain looked at him and said, well, the food was free. So it was free. And if you just think about Jesus want to give you something for free, but you got to participate and have the knowledge on how to go get it. You know, I mean, my goodness. I see I've been on a boat cruise and I know what it's like. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's like, if you haven't been on a boat cruise, please go on a boat cruise. It is so much fun. You eat all day and all night long. You eat all day long. It's fun. And you go from place to place. And they have a little gym. They have a sauna in there, 2 pools. Couple of pools. The only thing that I didn't like, that they didn't allow me to do, is I want to fish. I want to throw my point out the way. Any fisherman, man, I want to fish. I understand that we have all this stuff and all these amenities, but I want to see if I can catch me a swordfish. I know if I can hook one of them, I'll be happy. I want to fish. So anyway. So that's the only thing I hate about the boat cruise, because they wouldn't allow me to fish. I love to fish. Now I want to share with you something today. Go to the book of Genesis, the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis, 1st verse in the book of Genesis. I want to share with you about the enemy because of the fact he wants to keep you ignorant. Look at somebody and say ignorance. Does not exist here. I love to fish. Last night we were trying to get my daddy out. Last night about 11 o'clock, talking about let's fish. Any fishermen in here, they know what I mean. Any fishermen, they get that midnight crave thing. You know, man, I know it's a fish over there jumping, calling my name. You can hear them. You know, when you're a fisherman, you can hear them. They calling your name, come out, come out. And they be calling my name, and my God's being Sam, we be struggling. Yeah, me and Sam. I can't leave Sam out because he wanted to fish at the out there. They want to fish at the drop a hat. Now Denver, if it ain't a keyboard on that lake, if he can't play on